Hey guys, welcome back. So this week is going to be assignment number 11. First, I just want to thank Abigail for teaching the class last week. The TED Talk videos were very interesting and helpful in terms of giving context to the rest of the material that we've learned in class. So our assignment was to discuss the positions of two of the speakers, the TED Talk speakers, within six of the videos that were given to us. So for the first installation, I chose the Kirby Ferguson Embracing the Remix video. He starts off by giving a situational overview. It's 1964, and Bob Dylan is churning out classic hits at a rapid pace, but there's a small group of individuals who think that he's copying the work of others. Another example he gives is the production of the Grey album, which was a combination of the Beatles' Black album and the Beatles' White album and Jay-Z's Black album. And then he brings up this idea of remixing, which is essentially copying, transforming, and combining. Essentially, you will take components of other people's work, you will alter them a little bit, and then you will combine them together to form a new piece of art. Now, he argues that everything is a remix. It's not just limited to the music industry. And he gives some examples from the real world. The first is Ford Motors. Even Henry Ford admits that he never really invented anything new. He basically just took the inventions of other men and assembled them in such a way to create a new product. With the invention of the iPhone, the concept of multi-touch, the invention of multi-touch itself, had been existing long before Steve Jobs and Apple launched the first iPhone. So then he talks about how this brings up, a contradiction within patent law. Patent law, currently, there is no real, it currently contradicts the idea of remixing, of copying, of using components of other people's art in order to make progress with a new piece of art. But he says that this fundamentally and inherently contradicts the true intent of copyright or of patent law, which is to promote the progress of useful art. And he talks about, or actually Steve Jobs, he gives an example of Steve Jobs and how when Apple Computer was first created, Jobs quoted Picasso saying, "Good art is copy, great art is steal," and Apple has never been shameful about stealing good ideas to make them better. But then Ferguson brings up this idea of loss aversion, which is essentially that we have a predisposition to protect what we believe is ours. And that's where the contradiction comes from. Because if everyone just embraced the remix idea and, used it to progress useful art, then, we would have a much better society with much more useful inventions, because essentially what we're doing is we're just learning from each other, similarly to how we learn from each other's blog posts in this class. But because of this idea of loss aversion and the fact that people are so skeptical of giving up what they believe is inherently theirs, we have these copyright laws and these wars that go on, these litigation wars that go on between companies over the protection of their valuable property, which essentially, as Ferguson would argue, hinders the progress of useful art. And that's where the contradiction of copyright law or patent law comes in. Feel free to leave any questions, comments, concerns on my YouTube video or on my blog posts, and I'll see you guys for the next installation of this video. Thanks.